Yeah. Let's do a double masking session, shall we? What we'll be doing today is the C200 Bubble Peeling Pad. I believe Renee from Gothamista has a video on this mask, but I haven't watched it. All I know was that it said exfoliation, brightening, glowing. Check, check, check. Yes, yes, yes. Now, inside is vitamin C, hyaluronic acid, AHAs, organic 7, fermented extract complex. Now, inside the pouch was the peeling base and this cute little sponge. Now, I believe we're supposed to take this product, pour it on here, apply it to the face. That's what I could get from the directions. We leave it on 1 minute and then we rinse it off. We'll follow it up with this Whole Foods mask I got on clearance. Let's go. It's bubbling. All right, so I'm familiar with the tingle from acids, and it's definitely tingling. Okay, so I left it on for a minute and my skin feels really good. Like, it feels dewy. That was very great results for that quick little thing. Like, it feels hydrated and dewy. So let's keep the party going with this Whole Foods moisturizing green tea mask. It's got glycerin, witch hazel, green tea, gotu-kola, hyaluronic acid, olive fruit oil. It's supposed to be called an air wrapping mask. What does that mean? This is a good look for me. Okay, I can definitely feel that the Korean skincare brand, like the acids were real. And they did some resurfacing. So this was supposed to feel hydrating. It did. You know, it's nothing crazy. It was nice and occlusive. So my face is feeling phenomenal. And I think I'm gonna follow it up with a little May Lindstrom Blue Cocoon. So I wanted to spend the rest of the video talking about an article that recently came out in the New York Times called Smashing the Wellness Industry by Jessica Knowles. It's an opinion piece. And the reason I wanted to talk about it was because I have an opinion on her opinion. Now, everybody's entitled to share their experience. The reason that I felt like I wanted to address this is because I don't agree with some of the generalizations she's made about the wellness industry, and I think that a lot of her experience comes from her own personal bias. Now, if you haven't read the article, I'm going to link it below. Go read it. It's really quick read. It's just mostly her experience. Come on back here and then feel free to leave your own opinion in the comments box below. Like we just talked about last week, I totally embrace that everyone has their own experience, their own path. And this is not a judgment of her. Rather, it's a defense of the wellness industry to some degree. And I'm more than happy to hear everybody else's opinions in the comments box below. Okay? So what I took away as one of the main points of her article was that she felt like the dieting industry has morphed into the wellness industry, and that somehow being obsessed with food and etc. is this new form of wellness. And it's creating unhealthy narratives amongst women, particularly some of the women that she participates with in her circle. And she really felt like, you know, she really had a negative experience when she was in the wellness category or lifestyle. So for me personally, I feel like it's unfair to make that generalization, that broad statement that dieting and the wellness industry are going hand in hand, because there's plenty aspects of the wellness industry that have nothing to do with advocating juice detox or restricted meal plans. Now, one thing I want to point out is right from the very beginning, we find out about the author's biases. And indeed, she does discuss them pretty much throughout the article. And her bias is coming from a place that she struggles with body acceptance, and she also has a very difficult time, challenges with her relationship with food. She clearly discloses that in the beginning by saying that she had a bout of bulimia in high school, and then further details unhealthy relationships that she's had with food. Now, I think that's an important point to make when we talk about this person's experience with the wellness industry, is that everything that we've experienced in our personal journey, we bring that to a situation. So already she was predisposed to having a negative relationship with food. So when she came to the wellness industry, she probably sought out the aspects of wellness that were not positive for her. So the next thing I want to address is how she starts to weave the wellness industry, the diet industry, and then women's sort of long-standing social issues, insecurities, all together into one narrative. Let me read you a direct quote. "The wellness industry is the diet industry, and the diet industry is a function of the patriarchal beauty standard under which women either punish themselves to become smaller or are punished for failing to comply. And the stress of this hurts our health too." I don't know where to begin with that statement except to say that there are plenty of women out there who obsess about their appearance for their own selves. I think that narrative that women are only trying to achieve attractiveness or to be thin for the sake of a man or because they're under some patriarchal society is just, I don't know, like 1950s, that narrative. I don't really want to hear that. I know plenty of beautiful, powerful women who choose to get their nails done or wear fake eyelashes because it makes them feel good. It has nothing to do with a man's society or being attractive to a man. Okay? So, again, I can't even go on further about that. Next, I kind of want to go back to the idea of her personal biases that she brings to this article. Like I said, it's an opinion piece. It's her opinion, her experience. Of course she's able to have them, but I wanted to comment on some of the things that she says. So she opens the article talking about this, being at a lunch table with a bunch of women who are all going on about their diets and their bodies and etc., and how she felt the narrative was very damaging to women. And then I want to address that she talks about how she does not have a very good or positive relationship with her own body. In fact, to quote her directly, she says, "Most days I feel good in my skin. That said, I am probably never going to love my body, and that's okay. I think loving our bodies is not only an unrealistic goal in our appearance-obsessed society, but also a limiting one." Both of those statements, they just make me sad, because the women that I hang out with don't sit around obsessing about dieting. And you know what? I've got cottage cheese legs and broad shoulders and a huge butt, and I happen to love my body because of what I'm able to do with it. And that's really one of the things that I wanted to touch on, is that is the wellness industry going to make you well? No, but nothing else will, except you. Except us doing the work to try to achieve some semblance of self-love. And I do think the wellness industry encourages that. And I do think there are a lot of really great men and women in this industry who that is their goal, is to help you feel good about yourself. It's just like I tell people about living in Hawaii. I had a friend come to visit recently, and she was talking about moving to Hawaii, and I said, well, I just want you to be prepared. I want you to know that living in Hawaii is wonderful. The idea of moving to Hawaii is great. However, life is still the same when you get here. You still have to buy groceries. You still have to go to work. You still have to take out the trash. And so if you're looking for Hawaii to solve something in your life, it's not going to. And it's the same thing I would say to anybody coming to the wellness industry. Is living in Hawaii wonderful? Yes. Are there many aspects of the wellness industry that are wonderful? Yes. But, you know, until we can do the work inside ourselves to be self-fulfilled, then, you know, it's really not going to matter the place or the industry. Our issues will keep coming up. The very last thing I'll say is that I don't mind also disclosing that I have also been critical of the wellness industry, particularly ingredient fear-mongering. But the reason I chose to want to talk about this topic is that I've mentioned this multiple times before, but I do think that what we are eating, or our diet, meaning the foods we're eating daily, I do think it has a bigger impact on our health than, you know, a pea-sized amount of a cream containing phenoxyethanol. So, yeah. Anyway, that's all for this week. Tell me your thoughts below, and I'll see you next week. Bye.